and welcome to this presentation on the ABCs of a successful investor pitch deck. My name is Jerry Lalonde, and I will be your host for this short video. I am a principal at Exec HQ, and at Exec HQ, we provide C-suite services for organizations ranging in size from startups to Fortune 1000 companies. Now, by way of background, I've spent the last 20 years working in and with startups. I've helped startups raise over $60 million in seed funding, and I've taken 2 startups public, one on the NASDAQ and one on the Canadian Venture Exchange. So I have seen and presented a lot of investor pitches, some that were really good and some that were really bad. In fact, I would have to say that most of them were pretty bad. I've attended many investor pitch sessions. One of those sessions where enthusiastic entrepreneurs present to a room full of potential investors. They have 15 minutes to make an impression. I have been so disappointed in the presentations that I decided to put together this short video and provide guidance on the elements of what I believe a successful investor pitch should have, what I call the ABCs of a successful investor pitch deck. When investors are being pitched to, they have 3 fundamental questions that they are trying to answer. A, what am I being asked to invest in? B, now that I understand what I am being asked to invest in, why should I invest? And C, having decided I should invest, what are all the gotchas, the risks, the potential downfalls to the investment, and how are they being mitigated? If you answer these 3 questions in a way that resonates with an investor, you have an excellent chance of landing some financing. Let's look at each question in turn. A, what am I being asked to invest in? You might think this is pretty simple to answer, but you might be surprised as to how many times I've heard investors ask, just exactly what is it you are doing? Or what exactly am I investing in? Or I don't get it. Can you explain that again? Because the presentation did not explain this in simple, clear, and understandable language. Are you asking them to invest in a disruptive technology? Or is it an interesting new business model? Is it a website that offers something new? Is it an idea or product that is already commercialized? You need to make it crystal clear. But of course, it's also important to make the thing they are investing in as attractive as possible. For example, imagine you are one of the investors sitting around a room listening to James Watt pitch his new steam engine concept. What would be more attractive? The notion of a device capable of lifting more coal out of a coal mine? That in itself attractive on the day? Or the notion that the Watt steam engine would be the power behind an industrial revolution that would sweep the world and dramatically change the economics of production? I really think the second one would have gotten investors far more excited. This is the first step in getting the interest of investors, so you need to make sure that what you are asking them to invest in is easily understood and attractive. And especially, don't get lost in the technology or industry buzzwords or acronyms. That is a sure path to disaster. At the end of this section, you want a light bulb to have gone off in the investor's head that they should continue to pay attention, that this could be interesting. B, why should I invest? Now, this is where you have to convince the investors that now completely understand what they're being asked to invest in, that they should invest in your company, idea, or product. This typically means what will be the return on their investment. This is where you unfortunately have to present financial projections, market size, potential client lists, etc. Once you are through this section, investors need to be convinced that there is a chance for an interesting return on their investment. How you do that depends very much on your business model, your research, what market you are going after, and so on. However, in the end, what counts is a financial projection that shows good returns for the investor and that is supported by understandable and reasonable assumptions. I wanted to stress the assumptions must be understandable and reasonable. Far better to have the investors question and debate the assumptions than to just have them question the numbers. And C, what are the gotchas, the risks, and how are they being mitigated? I'm surprised at how often presenters looking for investment do not address the risk factors. For example, a classic question is, what is your competition? And the answer is, we have no competition because no one else is doing what we propose to do. Well, that is an immediate red flag to any investor because there is always competition in some form or another, and the fact that you can't identify it is a problem. And then there is the question of, are you raising enough money to see your project through? You need to answer that question explicitly and speak to why you are confident you can deliver on your promises with the money being raised and what you will do if you need to raise more. Are there critical milestones in your plan? What happens if you miss any of them? What is your fallback plan if you do? You really need to step back and take a critical look at your proposition, your plan, your assumptions, and try and identify all the things that could go wrong that would imperil the investor's investment and address these in your presentation. Regardless of the risks or gotchas, an investor will feel much more confident knowing that at least you are aware of them and mitigating those risks on their behalf. So there you have it. In summary, if you can answer 3 simple questions, you are well on your way to raising your needed funding. A, what am I being asked to invest in? B, now that I understand what I'm being asked to invest in, why should I invest? And C, having decided I should invest, what are all the gotchas, the risks, the potential downfalls to the investment, and how are they being mitigated? Of course, how you answer these questions is very important. It's the magic sauce. Sometimes it can really help to have an outside advisor provide feedback, so don't hesitate to look for an advisor who can assist you. Finally, I don't usually make offers in my videos, but this one time I will. If you have an investor pitch deck that has not been working for you, send it to me and I'll be happy to review it and pass on my comments to you at no charge. And of course, any material you share with me will be kept confidential. Just contact me at jerry.lalonde@exechu.com. And with that, my video is finished, and I thank you for having taken the time to listen. I hope, if for nothing else, it has raised some questions and got you thinking. Thank you very much.